So most people exposed to Hillman kind of come in with a view of his radical departure from more classical Jungian ways of thinking. Um, those of you that have sort of followed the arc of his career from revisioning psychology in the 70s through the 80s, the interest with the anima mundi, um, and then you start to see in towards the late 90s and early 2000s, he turns back to his Jungian roots. Um, and in a way, what this early work helps us see is those Jungian roots are always there. They're working in the background. And to me, studying these early writings helps us understand where he's coming from in revisioning psychology and in these later works, so that we, as sort of, if you like, students, scholars of archetypal psychology, this important offshoot of Jungian psychology that Hillman is responsible for, that we can grasp this relationship between Hillman's thinking and the wider world of depth psychology through classical Jungian psychology in particular. And I think there's some tremendous thinking and inciting going on in these early works that are very often ignored by people who come into Hillman and read the Soul's Code or Revisioning or The Dream in the Underworld and see this emphasis, for example, on the imagination rather than the unconscious. And so to go back and to be able to see the way he handles the unconscious and where this emphasis on the soul comes from, and why he becomes critical of the more spiritualized ideas in psychology versus this emphasis on descent and the underworld. To see these things really gives us I think, a foundation for understanding his work as a whole.